Hey, Stav. I'm going to keep details about myself kind of limited because it'll make sense later. But basically, during COVID, it kind of went off the rails a little bit and, started buying like a crap ton of like guns and ammo and stuff like that. I'm cool now, but basically I met this girl recently and things are getting kind of serious, but I still have like, a bunch of guns like laying around my apartment and stuff. And, they're all secured and things like that. But I also kind of like carry a lot too. I'm licensed and everything, so it's good. I do training with a bunch of people. But I just don't want to scare the shit out of her with all this stuff, I still kind of believe in a lot of that sort of prepping attitude. So it's not like, I want to get rid of that, that stuff. But yeah, it's kind of a thing that I understand why it would scare the shit out of a lot of people.
Okay,
so,
that's
I kind of keep it on the down low, except when I'm calling into a national podcast, which is probably going to not bite me in the ass anyway. But yeah, just wondering what your advice is as far as like how I should handle the situation or maybe like how I should tell her.
This is
any
so
advice
awesome.
would be appreciated on that.
Hey, Stav, I lost my
thanks.
mind during the pandemic and bought 100 guns, and I'm afraid it might fuck up my relationship. How do I tell her? Not, by the way, I still have the guns. He's like, I'm good now. He was like, I lost my mind in the pandemic, and I bought enough guns to have for a little militia. I'm good now. Still have the guns.
I didn't change anything.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm not going to do a shooting anymore.
Don't you think, buddy, that the fact that you met a nice woman and one of your and look, let's leave my position on guns out of it. You picked up a hobby during the pandemic, and you're afraid it's going to scare the hoes, right? If you think your hobby is going to scare a nice woman, maybe you shouldn't do that hobby. That's all I'm saying. Or dial it back, right? Guns, whatever it is. Guns, you're like, I don't know if you became a Twitch streamer during the pandemic, like whatever it is. If you're this worried about it. Now, look, I'm not a gun guy. I think probably somebody like you said you went crazy during the pandemic. A guy who's, liable to go crazy, I don't know that I want him to have thousands of bullets in his home. That's kind of my thing, right? I also know I'm mentally ill. I have friends who are more mentally ill than me. I don't think they should have guns because you never know when things get kooky what might happen when you have a fucking gun in the house, right? But that's fine. That's what you want to do. I would say, you guys are big gun guys.
Yeah.
Look.
I actually have some advice as to how he can show her. Try to fire a bullet at her and get as close as possible to her.
Be like, babe, I have a surprise for you. Put an apple on her head.
And I think if she will appreciate how cool that is.
Yes,
she'll be like, now I know.
Get
more.
Have her stand straight in front of you and then bend the bullet around her like that Angelina Jolie.
I would say sit down with her, watch Wanted.
Yes.
Watch Wanted. She'll be singing a different tune.
Okay, you know what? Actually, we're having a good time. We're joking around. Yeah. We're a couple of jokesters here, but legitimately, the moment I'm the most pro guns is right after I've watched John Wick. So I would say sit her down, let her watch at least 1 and 4 minimum. Back to back, you could probably skip 3. I love the whole franchise, but maybe the beginning and the end, big fight scenes in 3 you could keep. I love the knife where he's fighting those Japanese dudes in the beginning at like a old fashioned like weapons armory, and he's like fucking them up with like a knife. That's cool. And then the very end at the Continental, when the guys, it's like glow in the dark, and he's fighting a bunch of guys with like riot gear.
Yeah,
that's cool. On the third one, you can watch. So you'll watch those 2 scenes. Watch 1, 2, those 2 scenes in 3, and then all of 4. It's a masterpiece. And then after we're talking about probably that's about 7 hours of John Wick. Mm-hmm. Then show her all your guns.
Yes.
she's gonna be fucking pumped.
Yes.
She's gonna be like, these are sick. I just watched Keanu, who's an awesome guy, use these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's nice. What? People love him.
He's got an age-appropriate girlfriend, Keanu.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
It's so appropriate that it's, like, inappropriate in the other direction. She's, like, old.
I think he just has gray hair. And he's a good guy. If the guns are good enough for Keanu, they're good enough for
I think
her.
if you go the John Wick route, how you should reveal the guns is keep them under your garage and then take the sledgehammer.
Somebody wrongs you.
Yes.
Or when she pisses you off,
Yes.
make her watch you sledgehammer into concrete
Yes.
and be like, oh. That's a great idea.
My favorite part of the third John Wick movie is they shoot the dog. Like one of the villains shoots the dog, and it's like really upsetting. And then the dog slowly turns over and reveals he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
That's
It's
fucking
this, like,
awesome.
sick dog.
It's that dog fucking
What a
rules.
badass.
I was so sad when for the moment I thought the dog
Me
was
too.
dead. Dude.
Anyway.
Great. So just check out John Wick, man.
Check it out.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so maybe you wanna. What do you think the ideal amount of guns your girlfriend would want you to have is? Is it 0? Is it 1? Is it 2? And how many do you have? It sounds like 40, 50. So, at the very least, can we get rid of some of the guns? Do you really need this many fucking guns? Think about it that way. And you're talking about the prepping thing. I got news for you, pal. The world goes belly up, you're fucked. You're not gonna protect anyone with all your fucking guns. You might kill a couple people, but you're probably, the food's over, there's no water. It's this prepping shit. I don't mean to be, you probably think you have it figured out, but just try and live in this world we live in today. And look, I'm not telling you not to have a couple fucking cans of tuna laying around or some fucking Vienna sausages and 1 or 2 guns and maybe a lot of ammo for those guns. If you're worried about prepping, you want a couple reliable guns and a bunch of fucking ammo, right? What the fuck are you doing with this many guns? So I would say just treat it like cleaning your apartment. It's like, are you going to get it completely clean when a girl comes over? No. Just get it.
Make it clear that you've done an effort.
I've made an effort.
Yes.
I've got it's acceptable.
That.
It's acceptable.
Yes.
Get rid of some guns and make it like acceptable. You don't want her fucking walking into an armory. You don't want her walking in and there's fucking guns on the wall and all this kind of shit, because she'll be like, this is an insane person. Or if you love the guns so much, find some dumb bitch that likes shit like that. Those are your 2 options. If you're afraid this is gonna if you're afraid it's gonna turn her off, then maybe take that as an opportunity to maybe scale back. And you seem to have, it's usually because he has some context on how he overdid it.
Yeah.
But he's kept the guns.
Yeah.
Which is the interesting thing.
He seems to think because he's like mentally cool now.
Yeah.
It's like it's all good.
Yeah,
it's like, now I'm not gonna do anything with the guns.
Yeah.
That's bad. I was before, but now I'm not.
So yeah, dude, that's all I would say. And how you bring it up is just like, I am partial to the argument. I don't agree with it, but it's like, I'm trying to, you're licensed, you do training, you do all that stuff. So I understand the argument of like, hey, look, man, we're never getting rid of guns, and I just want one to protect my family. That's not my stance. I think, like I said, I don't want a gun around because I cut myself on I had a very deep cut because I was trying to make a gravity bong, and it went, and I was holding the bottle, and I was like, I wanted to puncture one side of it, and I didn't think that maybe it would go through the other side, and I just completely stabbed myself through right here.
And with the gun, you would try to shoot it.
And I would have held it, and I would have shot it, and I would have no use of my left hand. So I don't want a gun around my house, and also statistically, people with guns, you're more likely to get shot if you have a gun in the house. Who knew? But I understand the argument of like, look, I do training, I'm serious about this stuff. So if you really are, you do training, you're licensed, you have it's okay to have some guns for, protection, whatever. But if you're worried that you look insane because you have too many guns, you probably look insane because you have too many guns. And you could just be like, hey, I have a certain amount for, protection and all that stuff, but nothing crazy. So
I feel like at the very least, like he says he has guns laying all over the apartment.
Yeah, right.
It sounds like fucking Taxi Driver. I think like he doesn't even need to get rid of any guns necessarily. Just get like a nice
Step
big
one,
cabinet to store them all.
By a shelf.
Yeah, get one of those
Rack.
bookshelves that like turns around on a button, you know? Get one of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
It does seem like he implies like that they're like jutting out of his mattress. And, like there's no way around looking at the guns.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. My floor's littered with guns.
They're all under a rug.
Yeah. So stop. That's a great point, Elders. Don't have them lay around.
I
At
feel
least
like even
organize
if you
your
just get
guns.
like, you see a nice big gun cabinet with a light on the different shelves or
Make it look
something.
classy.
Make it look like
Yeah.
decorations
Yes.
are classy.
Yeah.
That
That's a
does
great
soften the
idea.
blow instead of like
Yeah.
conspiracy theorist who's worried about doxing himself on Stavi's room.
Yeah. And take all your Nancy Pelosi literature down as well. Hide that.
Replace it with a hammer.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother. All right, dude. So yeah, good luck with all your fucking guns and shit. And it sounds like you're doing better. But if you have to maybe talk to a therapist or maybe just go straight to psychiatrist, because this sounds a little more chemical than like I need to get some things off my chest. But that's our advice, pal. Good luck, and you get a nice little gun rack for yourself. Hopefully you don't shoot your dick off.